peoples. Just want to go over this trade from this week. A sell. I've just replayed it from just before it hits this zone here. It's the red zone here. I've deleted all markings, so I'll mark it out and talk about what I would be thinking. Highs and lows that I'd want breaking, and liquidity and sweeps type thing. So I'll try and do it as authentically as I can do. Obviously, the reason why I would have marked the POI originally is it's a structure high, and on the 4 hour you can sort of see that it's trending downwards. So you've got a structure of something like this. It's not exact, but you get the idea. Yeah, and then maybe longer term it'll make a new lower low. Just going to drop to the 2 hour and just show you another reason why I would have marked this zone as well, because the red zone does sweep liquidity. There, and you've got a don't do this to me. You get the idea. I know it's not perfect, but it does line up perfect. So with that said, I will get on with the trade marked up. So I'll drop to the 15. So obviously that POI is marked up on the 4 hour. It's just obviously I've bad replayed it just before the zone, so I'll play it from here, and as soon as it hits the zone, I'll mark what I would think is me 15-minute low, because we'll be waiting for 15-minute breaker structure. I don't know what that is. What is that? So straight away, 15-minute structure is looking like this low here. Possibly this one here if we wanted to be extra conservative. You're looking maybe something like maybe a low around about that low there. Ultimately, you could look at it like that. I'll change it to orange because everything orange is my 15-minute. It's pretty much the same again. But you could argue that just creates a slightly new high. Not convincing, but you get the idea. So from this point, I would set alerts at these lows. I always set my alerts just below the wick lows, so I'd probably have my alert there. Change that to blue. Alerts can be blue for the purpose. Just below there. So that's alert set, and if it creates a new high and then a low and then a new high, obviously I'd adjust everything. So usually I would be setting an alert just above here just to keep an eye on it as well. And then we wait for something to happen. Like this, looks like it's almost had a go at the low. Definitely again. So it's body closed around there. At this point, I'd be coming and trying to find the imbalances high up, and straight away, this is where I made one of my mistakes, but I did recover from it. So there's maybe tiny bits in here, but I'm not keen on them, so you generally just be a bit more conservative. That's where ideally you'd want your zone somewhere around there, maybe even cover that lower. I'm not keen on the candle overlays and things, so ideally zone would be there. We'll break down that zone and see what we're looking at on the 1 minute. And as you can see, just from that lower zone, you just cover everything. Yeah, could come higher, but all this zone here looks fairly balanced. It might come high, but these lower zones look more juicy, so I'd be more than happy to set an alert at the bottom of this box. Beam me alert. And now, because I'm looking on the 1 minute now, I'd be setting alerts also at these imbalance fills. I'll leave them to, we'll just do them for now. Get back to it. Have to wait for it to go below the zone again because I replayed it further back after the break. So obviously at this point is where I draw my zone that we've just done. Obviously it goes and tests the next low. I'm always happy for it to go for the further one for your breaker structure. It's just more reassuring. It's just what it is. It does eventually break that zone anyway, so there's nothing to be unsure about. I like this as well. Obviously the zone where I'm at for a breaker structure, it's almost testing it again as if it's telling you it's relevant. Test low on again. There we go. Body closed below the second one, so no confusion over which one it is. I'd be happy at that point. So now we're just waiting for it to come back to our orange zone, which is where our alert would go off at the orange box. Let's delete some of these. So now that our alert has gone off at the 1 minute, we are coming to look for the 1 minute low that puts in the high. So at the minute it is very much likely this low here. Yeah. So you've got this. greens for 1 minute. So yeah, you've got this at the minute. There's no real pullbacks in any of this. Couple of candles, but I'm not counting that. That's all one leg for me. So turn that green, 1 minute break of structure. Again, I would be setting alerts just below the wick. I'll put a blue again. So blue's alert, green's 1 minute break of structure. And for the sake of it, I would just, so if I get busy, I always put an alert on the high as well. But I normally do it like a few pips above, because if it doesn't convincingly break the high, then I would still class it as the old structure. It'll just mean that the price action afterwards is valid, but it's the same low. So I've set an alert there, and it is pretty much a waiting game. So from anything between there and there, until that high or low's broken unconvincingly, that's the leg we're working with. And again, it's a waiting game. Just marking the high. Just going to put the 5 minute on just to speed things up a touch. Principle the same, it's still class it as 1 minute, but I just want to speed things up. And there we go. The 1 minute's, that would have definitely closed 1 minute below. So as you can see, 1 minute closed below the green line. That was a structure low. I will just drop to the 15. So as you can see, obviously where I marked the 1 minute low down here to the 1 minute high up here, all I've said it in the group numerous times. Anything else in between is noise. So we've had all of this. Let's just mark it all out. I'm not good at exact, but you'll get the idea of the point I'm trying to make. Do it to there. All of this price action that you can see where the red line is it's almost pointless. It's not completely pointless because obviously now that it's broke the 1 minute, I'm now looking in that price action for a imbalance where obviously I want price to come back up, fill an imbalance, and then turn around and sell off. But as for the highs, you've got all these little relevant high, like little lows. It's all pointless. For me, I would class that as that's just making liquidity, setting traps for people that will be looking on like the minutes charts, seconds charts, whatever. At the minute, it's just sideways movement until the high or the low is taken. That's the range we are in. I mean, obviously people might find trades in all that stuff in between, but for me, the high and the low, until that's broken and convincingly, it's just noise until I'm looking for my entry, which is the stage we are at now. So straight off, I'm just going to delete that range. So because this price wicks above the sort of high just about, or maybe even becomes the new 1 minute high, I'm now looking for an imbalance between this candle and there. Obviously we're on the 15 minute, but I'd be looking on the 1 minute and lower, but I struggle to get it all in the screen. So we're looking for imbalance now. I'll try the 5 per minute because I want to just explain something quickly. So just delete that. Obviously, because I'm looking for imbalances, I'm not looking for imbalances, say, below this high and into that candle there where it's level from. Or if there's an imbalance below, it's covered price action, so it doesn't count. So I'm looking for, it's almost if I had a big fluorescent tube lighting or whatever, yeah, and it's shining light on, shining light beams, getting me Jason Jones on in me. Has it stopped? Oh. Yeah. So that shines lights, loads of little light beams coming off. You get the gist. So all this price action here is fine, and then if you go straight across, this price action is fine to look at straight across. So anything above the highs is fine. Anything below, anything that's been wicked is useless to me. Let's delete that. So straight off, just alone off the 5 minute, I would be looking for get out of it. Imbalance. Yellow's my imbalance is. Just off the 5 minute, that's probably the only thing that stands out. So from that high, if you go straight across, that high looks fairly balanced, but we'll drop through the zones and see if we can see anything. Just going to draw, this is what I always do, so I'll draw a line on that high there, and then I know anything from here and above here and above is what I want to be looking for. So you've maybe got this here. So I'll just gonna bar replay to that. Remember, obviously, the blue line is the other wick, so anything below it's useless. I'll just flick through the time frames just to see if I can discount it. It looks all right on the 30. 15, you got this wick here, so that zone is gone. So just let me get back to where we was. Let's play some candles. Sorry about that, but I'm trying not to let it go any further than it needs to. There you go. So now that we've discounted from this wick and above, we're now going to obviously break down from this wick all the way to here. But obviously we're looking for the highest zone, so I don't really anticipate it coming below this imbalance that's quite obvious on the 5 and 15. So we've got possibly that, possibly this, and possibly that. Yeah, just less than the 1 minute. We'll drop down again just to show. Obviously, at this point, we're trying to discredit zones. To be honest, narrow them, make them tighter if we can. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that one there. I'm not too pleased with this. I'm not keen on these wicks either side. It's not an indicator of strength. I know this one here has got tiny ones either side, but these ones up here are slightly bigger. And we'll just drop down, see if it makes it any clearer. So this one here, I don't like that crossover. That one's gone for me. And I'm just going to bar replay to that below that one there. Again, I'm just going to look at that on the 10, see what happens. Avoid there. That one's gone for me. I still like that body on that one, so I'm going to leave that one there because that actually looks like the best zone I've seen. So from here, we've got an, what was that right? Sorry, we'll be down to 15. So that would be my, what have I done there? Entry. Yeah. No overlaps. Decent enough push. It causes all of this push down as well. So imbalance there. I'll just delete that box. That, after the 1 minute breaker structure happens, would be my entry in effect. So what I'll do is I will bar replay from there. As soon as it breaks structure again, I'll look for targets. So obviously this is the point where I'd be looking and marking that zone up we've just marked. If we, I'm just going to drop to the 2 hour. So that was previous thing and low. So straight away, obviously we've got, got that low there. That'd be a target I would be aiming for. I don't know if I'd go that low. First thing that stands out is this bit of imbalance. So TP area, drop to 15, see if anything else is more visible. So this candle, this imbalance fill here, somewhere about there. I do think it will definitely want to target this low, because obviously that's now a 15-minute low, because obviously this is the one that caused the 15-minute breaker structure. So I think it'll target this low. Everything else has happened. Pending would initially technically be on at this point. So we will draw where our chart would be. But there, now it's going to play out. There. So we have a 3 pipette zone, which is very tight. I like. Obviously we would allow for spreads depending on where your broker is. So let's be conservative. I mean, I use 5%ers, so their spreads are pretty much 0. Let's allow 2 pips, so we've allowed a pip and 1.7 pips for spread on a 0 spread account, basically. And we believe that our overall TP, or serious TP target, is down there. So let's see what happens. And there we go. Pretty much bang on middle of the, well, not quite middle, but two pipettes into the zone, so technically as long as things was right it would have triggered. Where are we? And then we are ultimately waiting to see where it goes. And there you go. Still play actually. And then obviously that's Friday, market close. But as you can see, a nice and sexy 67.25. It wicks through, so you'd have definitely been tagged out of it if you'd have had that as the TP. But as you can see, guys, nice and simple, easy to break down the low time frames. Give us a shout if you need me to go over anything. Enjoy.